Welcome to your messages about your relationship reset. Now, this is about all of your relationships. We're going to be going through all 12 signs. As always, I encourage you to listen to all 12 signs. If you want to know why, check out my free tutorial and free PDF download below called Know Your Signs. I won't go into that too much right now because I also want to let you know that I have a brand new video out in case you missed it about who is on your spiritual team. Often you will hear me talk about your spiritual team, and you may also hear me talk about your angels. This is all part of the same team, and I just released a video this past Friday, this link below, called Who's on Your Spiritual Team, and it's all talking about your passed away loved ones, ascended masters like Jesus, guardian angels and archangels, and all kinds of amazing beings that are on your spiritual team. So these are the amazing beings that we are connecting with when we say our prayer protection, and we ask that we only connect with the highest vibrational beings, and you have a spiritual team with you right now. So you may get messages through a sign that you wouldn't normally listen to because maybe you were told your big three are Aries, Taurus, and Pisces. But you might get a really amazing download during Scorpio and you don't know why. That's because your spiritual team knows when you're going to hear it and what's going to resonate with you. And so they're here to support you and give you those messages. You're here because there are messages for you. And I'm so excited to talk about this relationship reset energy that is coming through. I was given this topic yesterday. I actually wasn't sure I was going to do this topic until yesterday. I thought I would do more of an updated energy, but this is actually updating the relationship reset I did back in, I believe it was either late June or early July. We talked about this, and my spiritual team came through and said it's really important to talk about this now because not only are we in this season of Libra, the sun is in the sign of Libra right now, which rules relationships because it's ruled by the planet Venus, but we have all these amazing things going on in the sky that are shifting the energies. And you might be thinking, what about the political stage? What about all the things going on in the news? We are being asked to go higher. That's why there are things going on in the sky. That's why we have the saying, as above, so below. So if any of you have been following these really cool, interesting things about the interstellar objects that are in the sky, as of right now, we have the third one that we've had over the last several years. It's called Three Eye Atlas, but we also have several comets that are interacting with it. We have the sun having solar flares and things that are affecting Three Eye Atlas. It's just really, really fascinating time to look up. Now, there is a lot more meaning to looking up than just looking at the sky. We are being asked to go higher with our energy, and this is going to shift our relationships. So, took that big full circle around there. Let me know how you guys are feeling about this new topic that keeps coming to light. You're seeing it all over the place right now, but it is affecting our relationships because we are being asked to go higher. And there are several things that happen when you as an individual choose to raise your vibration. And not everything is always talked about in the spiritual community. For example, you may find that when you actively raise your vibration, certain people are attracted to you. They feel your vibration going higher. They feel this connection to you. They see something in you that kind of maybe reminds them of something, and they like that, and they're attracted to you. Well, that may not mean that that person is meant to be in your life, though, right? And so you have to really get in touch with your spiritual team and listen to your intuition. The other thing that can happen as you actively work to raise your vibration is people can be actually repelled by your aura. Now, this is not meant to be taken personally because you are doing the work that you came here to do, but some other people's energy simply cannot tolerate the vibration yet. And I say yet because it doesn't mean we have to completely cut off people out of our life. In fact, it's one of the things that I do not think it's spoken about often enough in the spiritual community is we are here to unify everybody. We are here to raise our vibration, and through that raising of our vibration, we raise other people's vibration. But if you find other people are not quite ready to be around that energy, that doesn't mean they won't eventually get there, or there won't be some other person that helps them get there. So where I'm going with that is when we talk about relationship reset, Again, it doesn't mean you're cutting people completely out of your life. Some of you maybe. You may already have, with that powerful eclipse season we had, there were some major relationship endings for certain people, depending on where that was happening in your chart. But it could also be a new ending to a phase in a relationship. So that's why I'm talking about a relationship reset. This could be something as mundane as maybe both people in the home, both people in a couple worked full-time from home, and now one person is going to be traveling outside of the home for work every day. It could be where you're going through empty nest syndrome and you just sent your final kid off to college or off to their new life they're starting, and it's getting used to just being the two of you. But this is not just about romantic relationships. This is also about relationships with close friends, children, parents, bosses, colleagues. You may find even groups of people you are not resonating with, and you're also starting to vibrate towards a different group of people. And usually these things are subtle. They've already started, so there should not be really any surprises coming in. These messages are really meant to validate you. So I also don't want anyone out there going, oh no, what's going to happen? Is my best friend going to move away? Is so-and-so going to break up with me? We're not going into a place of fear with these messages. What we're doing is we are getting the validation that you are already picking up on. So that's why I want you to grab your journal. I encourage you to listen to all 12 signs, write down anything that resonates with you. If you missed it, I did my October energy update last week. Lots of really, really good information to start with. At the time I'm recording these messages, it is October 1st. So happy October, everybody. And I want you to really embrace the energy of raising your vibration. And as you see people around you reacting to you raising your vibration, be very conscious as to whether that's something you are taking personally, because we want to try to work on not taking other people's reactions personally. Like I said, it could be that when you are raising your vibration, people are attracted to you in a way that almost crosses your boundary too. So you do have to make sure you're shielding yourself, you're practicing cord cutting every day, and you are being conscious of the energies you're surrounding yourself with. It is not selfish to leave the party early because you're uncomfortable there. It is not selfish to not engage in a discussion about a topic that makes you feel like it's a low energy. That's okay. You are allowed to do that. In fact, I encourage you to do that. Your spiritual team encourages you to do that. And you may see this come up in some of your relationships. That friend that always calls you up every time a new headline comes out about a politician, and you get off the phone and you feel worn out, even if you agree with them. This is where we have to set those boundaries. We have to say, I love you, but not today. Okay. So that's one of the big reasons I wanted to go into this. Most of this is validation. These are actually changes in relationships that really started way back in March and April when we had the first set of eclipses in 2025. And then we brought them to the end cycle here just recently. Plus, we have this full moon that's coming up on Monday, the 6th, that is going to also bring endings in as well. So remember that full moons always bring endings. They bring culminations. They illuminate things. What I often find happens with full moons is sometimes an ending will reveal itself that I didn't even know was over. I'm like, I really am done with that particular activity, or I really am tired of this particular entertainment, or, like nothing big, but it's kind of like, I've been feeling this coming, I've been feeling this shift, and then the full moon reveals it. And a lot of times it will end it for you if you're being resistant to it, right? But that's what also eclipses do. So if you're still holding on to anything that the eclipse was trying to get out, I have a feeling this full moon is going to bring that to a conclusion there. Very, very soon. So we're going to be going through all 12 signs. I have a really fun announcement in 2 weeks. Chris Reck from Menopontero will be back on my channel. We're doing a really fun topic that we did almost a year ago called This Time Next Year. So I'm going to be linking our video from last year below, and we're going to be doing that topic in a couple of weeks. But if you missed it a couple weeks ago, he was on my channel we did the next 3 months. So I want you to combine that energy with the October energy, with what what we're picking up with relationships, with people around you, things that you're seeing on the wide world stage. And like I said in the September update, you were getting information in September that may not have made sense, but I really, really hope you are giving yourself credit for it. I really hope you are writing down angel numbers, synchronicities, any encounters with animals, anything that you're having that's just really in your face. I hope you are writing down. If it's not too late to write it down, you can always use hindsight, because in October, these are going to become very important. You are going to be communicating with your spiritual team in a different way. And I cannot tell you how the telepathy has been off the charts for me. People that I haven't talked to in 2 or 3 years, I've mentioned them to a family member, and 3 days later, they reached out to me, this person that has no connection and would have never known that I was talking about this person. Telepathy is real. It's coming through. I just got huge angel bumps behind me. So I want you to be paying attention when you get a phone call and a text message and you get a knowledge or an information or a feeling about who it is or what the message is about. Give yourself credit, okay? Because you're taking your vibration to the next level. And it is so important that we do this. Every single one of you that is here watching, you have a mission to raise your internal vibration right now. You do not have to call yourself a light worker. You don't have to tell anybody you are doing this. But if you are actively participating in raising your vibration, which you are doing right now because you're connecting with your spiritual team, that is part of your mission. So congratulations for being here, for being part of this community, because you are very welcome here. And I am so honored to share these messages with you. So how about we jump right in to all 12 signs so you can see where you're going to be getting these relationship resets you probably already knew were needed or were already in the process of making, and this is validation. So definitely listen to all 12 signs. And like I said, linked below, I have that free video I released last week on your spiritual team, who's on it, and just giving you a little idea on that, why you sometimes hear me refer to angels, sometimes you hear me refer to your spiritual team. So just going through that so you understand where I'm coming from. Also, let me know where you're tuning in from. It's so fun to see how we have people from all over the world. I get to see a lot of you here in the chat. It's so fun that a lot of you are able to join me here every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central. So thanks for being here. And let's just say a quick hello. I see April's here. Hello, April. Hey, Noelle. How's it going? Hubert's back. How you doing, Hubert? Great to see you here. Yes, Chris is coming back for that. And I think it's going to be really fun to compare notes, because I told Chris, I said, I cannot believe it's almost been a year since the first time you came on my channel. We did this time next year, last October. So he's going to be back on my channel. I think it's the 15th. It's not next week. It's the week after. So yeah, it must be the 15th. He's coming back on. We're going to be doing that. So make sure you're signed up for my free newsletter at devondoer.com. Not only do you get my gift, Is It a Sign, my ebook for you, you can stay up to be on different videos that are being released, different upcoming events that I have. I am releasing a digital course very soon. More details coming out on that soon. And more exciting information coming in at the end of hopefully by the end of this month or sooner, on community aspects, so that you get to join in with other people who also connect with their spiritual team on a regular basis. All right, so let's jump right into the Aries relationship reset and see what's going on for everybody. Just giving myself a minute here to get my icon up and make sure everything's showing up. There we go. All right, so Aries, your relationship reset right now. We first have the Knight of Fire, a very passionate energy coming through for you, Aries. We know you like to follow your passions, and that's what this Knight is doing. It says adventurous, self-assured, restless, a sudden event that needs attention. Think things through carefully. We're going to pull this all together, but I'm already getting messages around watching that impulsive action on things. We have the Six of Air. Beautiful, beautiful. This is really moving away from stressful situations. In fact, this is I just showed you the back of the card. This is a Knight in action, charging ahead, moving away from things that they no longer want and towards the things they want. And this card literally says moving on. So some of you are choosing to leave relationships behind. Some of you are moving on from relationship conflict. You're choosing to let it be water under the bridge. Let's pull one final card here that I have from my relationship deck here. We have the Worth Waiting For card. Wow, I just got angel bumps. Divine timing is at work in your love life. All right. So if you are somebody that is finding you're moving away from a romantic relationship, I do feel like what they're letting you know is it's worth the wait for the right person. Probably you've known for some time now that something wasn't right, and you are worthy of love that is respectful and loving towards you. Now, for a lot of you Aries, it's more about moving away from some type of collaborative project or some type of group of people where you thought you were going to finally have a chance to shine and to show your creativity, and it's not being allowed. Okay, so you're having to move away from a situation, a collaboration, something like that, and it's worth the wait to get everything set up properly before you get started with this new thing. Now, I am giving, for some of you, it's not necessarily a group of people, it's some work you have to do behind the scenes before you launch a project. You're very passionate about this thing that you're doing. So for some of you, it is a relationship to a project or some kind of group effort, and it's not going as quickly as needed. You need to hire somebody to help with the website. You need to save up some more money to invest in the right equipment. There's something there in your relationship to this passion you have. It could be that you have to wait on somebody to be available to work with you. And this could be love too. Maybe somebody you have an attraction to somebody, but they just got out of a relationship and they're like, I'm not ready. Like, give me some time. I need to take things slowly. Worth the wait is definitely the key there. But for a lot of you Aries that are listening right now, this is more about something you're passionate about. And again, you're either waiting for other people to be available or to be on board, or you're having to move on to a different group or do something in the background so that you're ready, if that makes sense. Let me know what you're working on, Aries, because I really think this is going to be powerful. I know it's hard sometimes to have to slow down to wait on others, but that's been a big message you've been getting, Aries, is that it is worthy of your time to bring people with you. You're very used to doing things on your own, but now that you're building this group of people around you that support you, or you're having to let go of somebody who's not quite there so you can bring someone else in and it's slowing you down, this is worth the wait. It's going to really help you get where you want to go. And even though it feels like it's taking forever, it is worthy of bringing these relationships with you. So who were the first people that came to mind for you when you heard that, Aries? Because it's really going to be powerful to have that patience. All right. Love that for Aries. And now we're moving on to Tauruses. Your relationship reset. We start off with the 5 of water. Okay. It says things not turning out the way you'd hope, not seeing the positive in a situation, crying over spilled milk. Yeah, Tauruses, I do think that you have had to go through a lot of relationship changes over the last few years. And there's also been some things that you really thought were going to be promising, relationships that you really thought were going to go somewhere. And then something was revealed to you with this eclipse season where you were going, okay, that's not going to work, or this person isn't as authentic as I thought they were. Again, remember, whoever comes to mind first. This is not just romantic. It could be a boss, it could be a colleague, a best friend, or just somebody, I'm getting for some of you, these are people who you thought were going to be in it for the long run with you. You thought these were going to be your ride or die friends that you grew old together with, and you're going, oh, well, actually, no, that's not the case. This is so telling here, the crying over spilled milk. It's kind of like, well, that happened with that relationship, moving on, right? Let's get some more clarity here for you Tauruses. We have the 3 of air. Yeah, taking time to heal. So this was hurtful. This was hurtful to you Tauruses, and I'm sorry. Sorrow, forgiveness, and healing. You do need some time to heal. Some of you have been dealing with things that are actually around emotional wounds, but they're manifesting physically. So I want you to take the time you need to heal, slow down, work on yourself. And remember, these people that you thought were going to be with you for the long term, they left to make room for somebody better to come in. So similar to what we had with the Aries, it's worth the wait for the right people to be there for you. And you were being shown that they weren't right for you, so that you wouldn't keep going down this path of continuing to go through this emotional wounding. So let's see what your third card is from the romance deck here. And again, this is not just about romance. Ooh, I like this though. Engagement. Okay, so yes, obviously it could mean some of you are choosing to get engaged or you're being proposed to, but for a lot of you, it says your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. I am literally hearing for most Tauruses, this is an engagement with some type of partnership or a group of people that is taking you to a new level with your work or creative projects. So it's like when somebody sends out an engagement letter to a new client. This is what I am feeling for you. You are taking things to a new level, a master level with the work you're doing. And some of you do need to take that leap to make that commitment. You've been sitting on the fence too much about it, or you've been waiting for something else to happen first. And the guidance here is stop waiting. There's no time like today to make that commitment. It can be energetically. Let's say, you're waiting for a job offer to come in, or you're waiting for some kind of contract to come through that will seal the deal. That's okay. Go ahead and act like you already have the job. Go ahead and act like you already are in that collaboration. You're already working with those people. Do that right now. That will attract it further in, if that makes sense. It feels a little bit like you know this thing that's coming in for you is going to be really good because it is taking you to the next level, but you're still a little bit worried about things from your past. Oh, is this person going to do that to me? I think some of you have been worried about people coming back from your past and trying to knock you off your progress. But that's why we just want to focus on the healing. Don't worry about what they're going to do. This is that feeling of like, you start dating somebody and you find out that they have some kind of connection with an ex from your past who was just awful to you, and you're worried they're going to come share with this new person some awful thing that's going to turn them off. They want you to just get rid of that, because that is not energy we want to pull in. Focus as though you already have the job. That's going to bring the most healing in, okay? So that's what I'm feeling is this engagement is coming for you. Act as if it's already yours, because it is yours energetically if you claim it. We just can't get stuck in crying over spilled milk. We can't get stuck in wounds from the past. We need to focus on healing, and a lot of that healing is going to come from that creativity and owning the energy that is there for you right now. All right, Tauruses, let me know what's going on for you with your relationships. I love it. All right, so now moving on to, hang on a second. I'm down here. I'm trying to switch the icons here. You'd think I would get faster at this, but Geminis, what do we have for your relationship reset here? All right, first of all, Geminis, we have the 9 of Fire. This is protecting what you've created. You've come so far, and you have. You've been working hard to change things, both at work and at home. Within your relationships, you have been working very hard to raise your vibration. You've come a really long way. You've been bringing creative projects to the forefront. You've been innovating things. You've been really stepping up your game with sharing your creativity with the world. So keep going, okay? Now, you may have some relationships that are holding you back from going to the next level, or you've been working really hard with a particular person, who's the first one that comes to mind, on creating something together. I mean, the example could be a couple that's trying to have a baby, and maybe they're having to go through the steps of in vitro or something like that, and maybe it hasn't worked out yet, but it's going to. Protect how far you've come, all the work you've done. But this could also be a book you're working on, or collaboration, or maybe it is a new relationship that you've started and it just hasn't moved forward as quickly as you want it to. But protect how far you've come together, okay? Because the next card I'm getting for you is the Star card. And I've been getting this kind of energy for you so much, Geminis. It says inspiration, fulfillment, faith. You are the star, Geminis, and people love it because you're so charismatic. We love having your energy. We love having you around. You're the life of the party when you want to be. Sometimes you can be quite shy, right? If you're in that mood, but you still bring in energy, and you are the star. So protect what you've created, okay? Because that's what I'm getting. There's something to do with some kind of relationship, and I do feel for a lot of you, it's something you're creating or trying to create. It's your relationship to that. And maybe there's other people around you who are trying to protect you, or there could be some naysayers in your life, but you've got to keep telling yourself, I am a star, okay? I did do a keyword for all of the 12 signs last week, so if you missed my October video, definitely go check it out. I did a keyword for all 12 signs. I also have it posted on my Instagram. because I really want you using your affirmations, especially you Geminis, but all 12 signs, that you are a star. Say, I am a star. In fact, if everybody wants to write that in the comments below, I don't care what your signs are, write I am a star, because you are. So the third card that we have coming through is the Love Yourself First card. There we go. Such validation. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. All right, so this Protect What You've Created card here, with this card, and of course the star card, is the perfect example would be you're chugging along, working on a creative project. You're just about to finish, the final draft of your book. You're just about to hit publish on your new podcast or YouTube channel, and somebody sweeps you off your feet, right? This could be a new family member coming in, like having a child, which is very, very important. And it takes your attention away. But don't forget you're a star. Don't just go, oh, well, now I have to focus all my attention on this relationship. You can have both. You can find that balance because you are a star. Plus, it does make you more attractive when you're willing to go fulfill your energies first and say, I'm going to go work on this creative project. I'm going to go focus on this thing I love. And then I'm going to make plans with my loved ones as well. Bring that balance in. Do both. You can have both. Everybody can have both. In fact, the angels want us to. Remember, this is a quick reminder here. Your spiritual team is here to help you maintain balance. Your spiritual team is here to help you maintain balance in these three areas of your life. Your relationships, not just love and romance. This could be any relationship you have. That's why we're talking about it today. But also your career, your finance. If you're retired, this is your legacy. What are you leaving behind? And then, of course, your health and fitness, your relationship to your body, your relationship to your health, because good health is wealth, right? I came across a video this morning of a local gardener here in San Antonio that she was talking about a garden she created 10 years ago using all purposeful plants that are native, that attract pollinators and birds and all the amazing things. A lot of them are edible. And she was just walking around showing her garden and the different ways she had transplanted things. And it was so grounding to see her just engage with the plants and show the love she has for it and show the way that she's giving back. And you could see she was really in her element. But while she was talking, she made a lot of mention about her husband, her dogs, her 2 sons. So she still was finding balance for this beautiful creativity, but she also had her family time and her other things that she did. She's also an author. And I thought this is such a good example of how finding balance in all 3 areas brings such great health and brings such joy to every day. So not just you Geminis, all of you listening, please protect what you're creating in those 3 areas of your life. All right, Geminis, love that for you guys. Let me know what you're working on. And moving on to the Cancers. Cancers, for your relationship reset, we have the 5 of Earth. Very interesting here. Says fears surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, uncertain self-employment. I see that this is something that is changing for you. You are starting to realize that you need to focus on something higher when it comes to your material resources. Instead of getting down into the weeds about, am I going to have enough money for that? I'm spending too much over here, or how it might be out of balance in a relationship. Go higher and trust that everything is happening for a reason. So if you've been in a relationship where maybe things have been out of balance financially, where you feel like you're always the one paying for everything, and you don't feel like they're giving enough, or the opposite where they're paying for everything but they're holding it over your head, it's time for a reset. You'll know what that is for you, but let's keep going, because the next card I have for you is the Ace of Fire. Opportunity, creativity, and action. Yes, you have an opportunity here to really shift the dynamics in a relationship around material resources. This is really exciting. Go for it, Cancers. I feel like you're going to get some kind of offer coming in that's going to allow you to focus higher instead of focusing on exactly every penny that you have in your bank account right now, or exactly how much you spent on that person versus how much they spent on you. Go higher with it and start focusing on the opportunities to grow your projects, grow the things you're excited about. That brings in even more abundance, right? So your relationship card is release your ex. Wow. Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. Yes, there is still something in your past, Cancer, that is holding you back when it comes to going for what you want, with material resources and going for what you want with your career opportunities and your passions. I feel like maybe for some of you, this is a situation where things were out of balance in the relationship and you didn't feel deserving. Maybe you did have a relationship where the other person was always paying for everything and they always made you feel bad about it. And now you're getting out there and you're starting something new so that you can really show yourself that you are worthy. And it's not about showing others, it's about showing yourself. And you can't think about that time every time your ex chastised you for spending money on something that your heart wanted. But the reverse goes for if maybe you do need to set boundaries around where you spend money on other people. Maybe you're always the one giving. You're always the one being doling out the cash or picking up the check. And it's time for you to say, you know what? I don't want to live like that anymore. I'm going to start saying no to these things. And I'm going to focus on investing in my own business, investing in my own creative projects. All right. So something around your relationships and finances is where the reset is coming through, Cancers. All right. How's everybody doing in the comments? We're going to flip on over here to Leos. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for liking and sharing this video and sharing it with everybody. I really appreciate it. It's so great to see you here. Hey, Chelsea, didn't see you come in there. I love the blue butterfly. We were just talking about pollinators. All right, where are we on we just did Cancer. So now we're on Leos. Leos, your relationship reset is the 4 of Fire. Oop, I just clicked off here. I want to make sure I'm, lost my mouse. Sorry, guys. This is what happens when I have all my monitors set up. So Leos, you have this 4 of Fire card here for your relationship reset coming in. It says contentment, peace, and abundance, a happy home life, the successful completion of a project. Yeah, I do feel that for Leos, and I've been seeing that with a lot of Leos, especially Leo risings, that you're just embarking on this whole new phase in your life. You have new creative things you're working on, new things that are coming in for you where you're really excited. It's a lot of work, Leos, actually, but it's bringing this contentment to your home life that you haven't had in a long time, Leo. So I'm really excited for you about this. You're allowing yourself to get out there in a bigger way. Some of you may have moved recently or you've done something new to your home. Some of you are actually leaving the home for work for a little while to get out there and do new creative things. And this is bringing a lot of confidence for you, Leo. So let's see what's coming up. What else is coming up for Leos? We have the Magician card, perfect for the Leos. You guys are transforming right now, and you're actually transforming all your relationships, Leos, is what I'm getting for you. You're transforming your romantic life, your life with, regarding clients or bosses. You're transforming your relationship to your work and how you work. You're transforming your relationship with your children. They're growing. They're doing different things. You're doing different things, which is transforming things. So this is really, really exciting transformational energy coming in for you. This full moon is happening in the sign of Aries, which trines you because it's another fire sign. So I would definitely keep an eye out for things that are coming to a conclusion or revealing themselves as an opportunity around this full moon, because I think you're going to find you're really going to be able to move forward with that passion. I know you've been waiting a long time for this, Leo. So let's get your relationship card here. You have romantic feelings. Love that. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. Now, again, this is not just about romance. So if you're not here looking for romance, this is feeling romance in your life. That thing that gets you out of bed every day, that thing you love to do, the thing that you can't not do. Does that make sense? Like this work that I do right here, I can't not do it. I love it. It's part of me. It took me a while to really own it and understand how important it is to me, but is the kind of thing that I feel I have to do. It's ingrained in me. It's part of my soul's mission. This is what you're being asked to focus on. That romance for life, things that get you all fired up. So again, it doesn't have to be another person. In fact, for a lot of you, I think it's not about a particular person. It's about you really engaging with yourself and your creativity, which just automatically affects all your other relationships around you because they see you shining. The people see you shifting. They're like, wow, what got into Leo? They really have the confidence I haven't seen in a while. They're really changing things and they're shaking things up, and kind of makes me feel good. It makes me want to shake things up. So thank you, Leos. We love this. Let me know what's going on for you guys because I'm really excited to see that for you. All right, moving on to the Virgos. Hello, Virgos. I know we got a Virgo or two here in the chat. Great to see you guys. All right, Virgos, your relationship reset. The first one is Ace of Earth. And it says the inflow of abundance, a promising business adventure, important documents or contracts. Yeah, I do feel like you're investing in something new. You're really starting to focus on the things that you are putting your energy into. And I do think, Virgos, that eclipse season was tough, very, very tough for you. But it did get rid of things that were draining your energy or they were holding you back in some way. And I do feel like you're going to finally see, wow, I was putting way too much time and energy into XYZ or into this particular relationship, and it's not something that really serves me anymore. So you may find that you're the one who's retreating. You're the one that's putting up boundaries when it comes to certain friendships, certain conversations, certain things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And you're saying, you know what, I'm not going to spend my time on that anymore. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to spend it on something that means something to me, something that is going to actually bring in that stability for the work I'm doing. The next card I'm getting for Virgos is the Seven of Earth. Perfect for that. Investment, assessment, and patience. So again, this is more validation. You've already started new things. You've already planted the seeds. And this is just that reminder that it does take time, but that patience and that consistent effort to work towards what it is that you want, and that consistent effort to only put your energy into the things that are in your highest interest is going to really, really yield some rewards. In fact, it's going to bring in all these new relationships. That's what I'm being shown, is all these fun, these pretty gold, are they coins? I don't know what there's something gold in the tree, obviously meant to represent, coins or earthy things, fruit on the tree. You're going to be bringing all these in, and you're just going to be going, wow, I am so glad I made the effort. I invested in this thing because it's coming to fruition here. And the relationship card you get is the religious factors card here. It says your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. Yes, I do feel for a lot of Virgos, there's still maybe some things from your past that have held you back when it comes to really stepping into your power. Maybe it was the way you were raised. Maybe it was just societal conditioning. Maybe your parents were very strict about the way they handled their investments or the way that they handled their spiritual beliefs, and you still feel a little bit closed off about making the changes you want. But I do see a lot of changes coming in for you regarding your relationship to your spiritual practice. So some of you may be choosing to join a new church. Some of you may be choosing to start a new spiritual study. Some of you may be moving away from a spiritual teacher or teaching. Your relationship to that particular topic or person no longer resonates. I feel this is coming in for you. And when you do that, when you take the action to just invest your energy and time, the easiest way to say it is, if there's some influencer that you've always admired and you always watch their posts and read their blogs, and now you're not resonating with him, go ahead and let that relationship go. Find the relationship that you can invest in. That's what this Ace of Earth is. And it really brings you a lot of abundance and really allows you to feel in alignment with your own spiritual beliefs. So I'm sure that'll make sense to a lot of you Virgos out there. It certainly makes sense to me with the Virgos I know and my own chart, since I have Saturn and North Node conjunct in Virgo. And I'm a progressive Virgo. That's the other reason, I don't always, hey May, good to see you there. I don't always mention this either, but I do always follow my progressive chart, my progress chart, and my progress chart, my secondary progressions, and also my solar arc chart. I will sometimes say, oh, interesting, like I got a big download for the Virgo message for myself. Well, I'm progressed Virgo. My progressed sun is in Virgo. Same for my moon. My progressed moon is in Capricorn. So that always resonates with me as a Cap rising. But I'm giving you that example. That's why I say on my channel, please listen to all 12 signs. Write down anything that resonates. Go ahead and write down what sign, because it could be very significant for you, a transit. If you want to know more, my free tutorial below with a free PDF download teaches you how to pull your birth chart for free and see where you have your signs. It's really valuable. All right, Libras, thank you for your patience there, and happy birthday season to you. Venus is your ruler, and this is the relationship season. So here we have the relationship reset for Libras. We have 6 of fire. Look at that. I love that, Libras. Victory. Good news is on its way. Public recognition or awards. Some of you are getting promotions. Some of you are getting new clients. Some of you are getting asked to speak at, big events. Some of you are just being finally given the credit you deserve for all the work you've been doing and all the creativity you've been bringing to the forefront. The next card I get for you is the wise counselor. And actually what I'm getting is you are being seen as the wise counselor. Finally, Libras, it says belonging, learning, and traditions. Yeah, you're always able to see both sides of things, and people are finally saying that and saying, Libras, what do you think? How would you approach this? How would you handle this? Now, it could be that you're seeing where a relationship in your life has gotten too out of hand because you haven't wanted to have to share how things were out of balance. And it's going to be important that you share where things have been out of balance. This could be asking for that raise, okay? Your boss, you know subconsciously your boss is holding out on giving you that raise because you just haven't asked, all right? So make sure you're asking for the things you want, asking for that recognition, and showing up in a way where people go, wow, you're right. Now that you mention it, this is the right way to go. So let's look at the relationship card for Libras. We have reconciliation, beautiful. Someone from your past is returning to your life, not necessarily, but I still feel like with this wise counsel card and this recognition, it could be that ex coming back and going, you know what, you were right, this was my fault. It could be that boss calling you up after you left the job because they wouldn't give you the promotion and saying, you know what, can you come back? I'll give you a better package. You were right. I didn't recognize you. I didn't value you enough. Come back. So careful for that, because that could again be what we got at the beginning of this video. If you're tuning in late, I was talking about the way we're raising our vibration, and that can attract people. It can also repel people for different reasons, and some are good reasons, some not so good. So you could be attracting an energy just because you're raising your vibration that is meant to be a little bit of a test to see if you'll put the boundary up. That ex coming back from the past that is saying they're sorry, but they may not really mean it, right? So just be really careful. Listen to your intuition. Really go into your body if you are having people come back from your past and saying things like, you were right, I was wrong, let's get back together, let's fix this, let's work together. Just listen to your intuition. For some of you, it could be that you just needed that recognition so that you could really get together in a bigger way. So I love this for the Libras. That's going to be exciting to see what comes up for you. All right. Moving on to the Scorpios. Scorpios, your relationship reset starts off with the 8 of Air card. It says an illusion of being trapped, a lack of self-confidence, afraid to take action. I think finally you're starting to really stand in your power, Scorpios. You've been getting different messages all year from the other 11 signs. And one of this is just being willing to leave a relationship or collaboration or job sooner than you have been willing to in the past, because in the past you've told yourself they need me, or I don't want to be alone, or this is going to be more of a hassle than I want to deal with, or one day they'll see it my way. And now you're starting to say things like, you know what, I've been shown enough about where these people are coming from or where this person is coming from that I no longer need to feel trapped here. It's time for me to move on. So let's see what else we have for you for Scorpios. In your relationship reset, we have 4 of Fire, prosperity, contentment, and celebration. Look at that. So that's really exciting. I do feel like maybe you have realized that in the past you felt trapped, and now you're going, I'm not trapped. I have the magic within me to bring in the things I want to manifest. And remember, we've been getting this message for you if you've been with me for a while. If you're new, welcome. But a lot of you Scorpios know that it's been a matter of waiting around for other people to validate you and to see your point of view. And you're just going, how can you not see it? Like, that's what I feel like a lot of Scorpios have to say. It's like, how is this not obvious? That's what you're trying to say to somebody or to a group of people, and they just don't get it. But now they're starting to get it, and they're starting to see where you're coming from. And so this is a cause for celebration. Now, of course, we are also approaching your birthday season. So I hope you do plan to celebrate all season long. And maybe there is something you need to speak up about regarding your relationship so that you can have that relationship. It could even mean just having the confidence to invite somebody to your party, having the confidence to ask your boss to take another look at that proposal you gave him or her that maybe they at first didn't think would work. So there's something around that with your relationship, just really, really stepping into your confidence, and you will bring in this celebration, some kind of cause to celebrate. And then your relationship card is attraction. Again, law of attraction. When you stand in your power, when you step out of this feeling of being trapped, you are going to attract the love that you want. It could be romantic love, but it also could be love for your work, love for your ideas, love for your projects and the things that you are sharing with the world. If you're retired, this is people really seeing what you're contributing and what you're leaving behind. So Scorpios, please, please, please do not feel trapped in your current circumstances. There is a shift coming for your relationship. If you stand in your power, you have to be willing to act, but also be willing to celebrate. Maybe you're celebrating an anniversary. Maybe you're celebrating the birth of a new child, a grandchild or a child, but really be willing to ask for the things you want around that celebration, and it's going to really benefit you with your relationships. All right. Love that for the Scorpios. Moving on to the Sagittarius. Hello, Sagittarius. Your relationship reset is coming in with the Two of Air. We have being unable or unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, pretending there's not a problem. Yeah, who's the first person that pops to mind for you? It could be a child, like a standoff you're having with them. Maybe it's a silent standoff. Same with a sibling or a parent, but it could be with a boss, a colleague, or a romantic partner where there is something that needs to be addressed, okay? And I've had this come up for Sagittarius a lot, so this is not surprising me. For a lot of you, I think it's somebody you work with where you're not saying what needs to be said. Like, I feel like maybe you're in a business partnership where you're ready to move on and just be a solo entrepreneur, or just the dynamics are not working. But there is some kind of stalemate energy in here that needs to be reset. So let's see what else is coming up for the Sagittarius. Ooh, we have the Moon card. Intuition, illusion, revolution. That's funny. I was just about to bring up this full moon, and then I pulled the Moon card because I was going to mention that just like with the Leos, this is trining your sun or rising wherever you have Sag, because it is a full moon in Aries, another fire sign. So this could be your really great opportunity to seize the moment and break out of this stalemate energy. Maybe you just started a job, and so you've been kind of biting your tongue with certain questions or certain comments because you want to get to know the lay of the land. You want to get to know everybody's personalities. That's fine. Just be willing to go ahead and say something if something doesn't feel right. That's what I'm getting here, is your intuition is telling you something needs to be done. Something needs to change. It may mean you have to speak up. It may mean you have to just change something in your world regarding your relationships. And so let's see what's coming up for your relationship card. We can pull it all together. We have the You Deserve Love card. Yeah. You are lovable too. Yeah. I feel like there's something here. For a lot of you, like, your intuition is telling you, like, okay, I'm getting a lot of messages here. For some of you, it's like somebody you have the feeling that like maybe they're interested in you and you're interested in them, but nobody's like really saying anything. And like I said, this could be not necessarily romantic. It'd be like, I have a feeling like that person wants to offer me a job, or that person wants to hire me as their consultant, or whatever. There's like something there. And neither one of you are like saying the things that you need to say so that you will be confident to ask that person, right? So it could be literally needing to flirt and let somebody know, I am interested in that job. I am interested in going out with you. I am interested in that thing. It could also be that you're the one that's needing to. And in that case, I would definitely listen to your intuition for the right time, really check in. Now, for a very small portion of you Sages, this is why I said there was so much coming in. There are some of you that your intuition is telling you the other person in this relationship, romantic, boss, friend, whatever, is not showing you the love you deserve. They are holding back. They are withholding affection. They are withholding recognition. They are withholding something that you deserve. So please listen to your intuition. It's just something to validate. Some of you needed that validation. You needed to hear that somebody wasn't fully recognizing you the way you deserve. That's why it says you deserve love. So the love could come in the form of a promotion, or a title change or something if it's not romantic. But there is just, most of you, it's something that the relationship can move forward. For some of you, it's like, I know in my gut that this is not going to last. Something has to change, right? And that's that stalemate energy there. So this is your validation to go ahead and take that change, especially with this full moon coming up, Sagittarius. All right, Capricorns. Capricorns, for your relationship reset. Thank you, by the way, so much for the like and shares. I really appreciate that. Your relationship reset, Capricorns, is we have the Page of Water. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase. Heightened psychic abilities. Yeah, a lot of you, this is a current relationship entering a new phase. Similar to, was it Cancers that I got this? Or somebody had it where it's like, you know, you're already in that relationship, but there's some kind of change. Like the one that comes to mind is, you know, one person in a couple starts working home full time or starts working outside of the home full time, and it changes it, or just the dynamics change. You know, maybe like I think of like when my oldest daughter started driving, it did kind of change how much time my husband and I had together, because it was like one less kid we had to worry about, like how we're going to get them where and what time and being home and whatever, right? It wasn't a huge change, but it kind of, it opened up like new opportunities for date night and things like that. Now, another big thing that's coming through is your relationship with your spiritual team, Capricorns, because you have been asked for quite some time to start relying more on your intuition and more on your psychic abilities. So please also check in with your relationship to your spiritual team. All 12 signs are having changes in the way they get downloads. So even if you're not one of the big threes with the Capricorn, all of you, please pay attention to the way you are getting messages. They could be coming through dreams, synchronicities, animals, comments from people, telepathy, all kinds of ways that could be coming through. But that's a big relationship changing, especially for Capricorns, is your relationship with your spiritual team and your psychic abilities. So that was one that I hadn't mentioned at the beginning. I was talking more about relationship to other people, to your health, to your projects, but I am also saying relationship to your psychic abilities. The next card I'm getting for Capricorn is the Page of Water. Sensitive, open-hearted, and intuitive. Just remain open-hearted with these new ways that you're getting communication, these new relationships. Try not to place any predetermined things on it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it feels a little bit like Capricorns are good at sizing up situations, people, whatever. And it's like, here's what's going to happen. This person's going to do this, then they're going to do that, then this is going to happen, right? Capricorns are usually really good at that kind of thing. But it's more about being open-hearted to the idea that the outcome could be different, especially if you're using your intuition. And then the relationship card I'm getting here is the Flirt card. Extend your high-hearted energy to others. Extend your light-hearted energy to others. All right. So again, with the spiritual team for Capricorns, especially, but this goes for all of you, you're getting an invitation to really open your heart to the ways you're working with your spiritual team. I think for a lot of Capricorns, you're getting new members to your spiritual team. Just a reminder, I have my video linked below for who's on your spiritual team, if you want to be reminded who it is and how you connect. But also, it is something that you have to be open to. You have to be open to communication with your spiritual team, right? Because it is the law of free will. And I do feel like you're going to have an opportunity to communicate with some other light beings. That's why it literally says lighthearted. So I know for me as a Cap rising, that's very validating for a recent just download I got. But I am really getting for Capricorns, you know, you went through that huge transit of Pluto in your sign so that you could get to this point where you could really start stepping into your psychic abilities, using your intuition and opening your heart to new ways that you're getting downloads. So I love that. All right, moving on to the Aquas. Aquas, your relationship reset starts with the 5 of Fire. It says competing goals, bothersome details, and conflict with others. I got to hand it to you, Aquas. You've been putting up with a lot this year, especially with relationships, especially competing goals in relationships. I've seen a lot of my Aqua friends have to deal with, they have something that they want in their mind, in their heart, and the people around them are resistant to it, or they don't agree, or they're like, this is not going to get us where we want to go. So I know you've had some competing goals with those around you. For some of you, have also taken on a lot, and it's like, okay, I've got to go do this, work on this project, and then this client expects me over here, and then my parents want me here for this celebration, and there's a lot of things that are like competing goals. They're all worthy of your time, they're all worthy of your love, but it's causing a little bit of conflict. And I do think some of you have chosen to move on from some type of relationship or some kind of situation, and there's still some like just bothersome details you have to deal with, right? Like I know, like whenever you leave a job, like usually there's like some final paperwork you have to fill out, right? Or there's some final thing you have to do, and you're like, I just want to be done, right? So I do feel like that's been coming up for you a lot with your relationships, but just remember, you do have to put the goals that are most important to you first, even if those around you are saying, I don't know if that's going to work, or, I need you over here. So let's see what else is coming up for you, Aquas. You have the Queen of Air card here. Brilliant, experienced, and humorous. Perfect for Aquas. Perfect. Especially since you're an air sign here. Yeah. Don't forget how witty you are. Don't forget the fun you bring to things. Also, don't forget your unique spin is what is so needed right now. I do feel like some of this conflict is people are trying to tell you how you should do it, but you've got your own way of doing something. So don't let others hold you back from that, Aquas. Like, I feel like if you've got a loved one or a boss or a friend who's like, oh, that's not going to work, or, oh, are you sure about that? Or, oh, I don't like the way you're approaching that. Really try to spend some quiet time alone asking yourself, how do I want to approach this? And I don't want to deal with a conflict just because I'm choosing to do it my own way. And then your relationship card is chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. Yeah, I think this is, for me, I don't feel like this is a person, Aquas. You know best for you. Maybe there is a person you have in your mind. For me, it's more like you have this magnetic attraction to do something. So it's like some big change that you're making with your work, with the way you approach relationships, with something that you want to do. You're feeling really, really drawn to it. And those around you are saying, hey, wait a minute, if you go do that, then I won't get to see you as much. Or if you go do that, then what about the vacation we planned? Like, there's something there where it's like competing goals. It's not necessarily negative. It's just something you have to face. So that's why I'm getting like, really go into that space that you have here with this Queen of Air card and try to find the humor in the situation. Maybe even use a little humor to have the conversation with others and say, hey, you say tomato, I say tomato. Like, let's make this fun and let's just go towards the things that we want and just bring that chemistry in. I feel like that's what's going to help with all your relationships, Aquas, is just kind of bring in the humor there, bring in the fun. All right. And that'll benefit all of us, actually, not just Aquas. All right. Moving on to Pisces, and then we'll get to your bonus messages there. Hello there. Hey, everybody. May's and Aries rising. Got that. Hey, Wendy from San Francisco. We got Chumpa Rugbeer here. Hello. All right. Pisces, your relationship reset. We start with the Knight of Air. Knight of Air. It says events that occur with great speed, take time to carefully review your options, creative solutions. Yeah. So for you, I feel like maybe, you've been getting out there in a bigger way, Pisces, or you've been encouraged to, and you're starting to. And I feel like communication is really ramping up for you. This could be communication with new people, maybe people you are considering dating, or maybe it's new friends, new groups of people. There's something that's really ramping up for you when it comes to communication, and it's a little bit overwhelming for you. And I get that, Pisces, because I know like a lot of times you'd rather just, cozy up inside and not have to deal. But there's communication coming through that does need your attention, and it is affecting your relationships. But I think what you're realizing is, I can handle this. I can have this communication with this person or with this group of people, or this relationship to how I communicate something, I can have that in a way that doesn't drain me. So let's see what else is coming up for you. Yeah, we have the High Priestess here, intuition, wisdom, and patience. Yeah, you're starting to look at these things that you have to do as from a different perspective. It's almost like maybe you haven't always enjoyed sitting down and returning emails, but you're now choosing to look at it from a different perspective and how you're going to do it. And maybe you're even hiring somebody to help you do it. Maybe you're just saying, hey, I'm going to get somebody to help me handle all this correspondence. And then I won't resent it when I have to reply to somebody. I don't know why that's so specific coming in for me, but yeah, I do feel like there's just so much communication coming through that what you're changing is how you react to that. Instead of being leave me alone, just shut the door, lock everything, pull the blinds down. It's all right, I'm going to find a way to have this communication where it's not overwhelming, especially if it is something new, a new friendship, a new romantic relationship where it's a little intimidating, it's a little scary, it's a little vulnerable. It's how can I approach this differently? So your relationship card is new love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. I knew I was picking up on that for some of you, Pisces. For some of you, this is a new romantic relationship where there's a lot of communication coming in fast. And maybe the old you would have been oh, this person's coming on too strong, or, ooh, I don't know, maybe you're enjoying the communication, but you're are we moving too fast? I don't want to give up my free time. So I feel for some of you, it is truly just trying to use your intuition about how you approach these relationships. But for those of you who are not here for romantic, you're here for other relationships. It is also just kind of having a new love for, let's say, you're not huge on going to the kids' basketball game every week because you love watching your kid play, but you don't necessarily love having the idle chit chat with the other parents, right? What if you chose to look at it as this is a chance to advocate for my son and get to know his friends' parents so I can make sure they're on track, those kinds of things? What if you just changed it, flipped the script a little bit about having to have that communication? I think that's going to really help you. And it's going to kind of give you that confidence to have to deal with it a little bit more. And then, of course, just again, remember, you guys are already so super intuitive. Have a lot of patience with the communication that's coming back, because I feel like some of you, these messages are coming in too fast and you're whoa, slow down. You're kind of scaring me off here. And for others, it's hey, I put all this effort into communicating with this person and now they're not reciprocating. So you just try to have that patience, listen to your intuition, and wait for the right timing. So yeah, you'll have to let me know what that is going on for you guys. That's exciting. Alrighty, so let's do your bonus reading here on your relationships. Now, this is where I like to do some actions that you can take because, again, all of this is, just meant to be guidance or validation for what you already know feels right. Anything that doesn't resonate, just leave it behind. It could be meant for somebody else. It could just be the way it's coming in. It's not the right time. But I want you to really just notice the things that really stand out for you. And in case you're joining me late, I want to remind you to sign up for my free newsletter at devondoer.com to get my e-gift for you, my ebook, Is It a Sign? And that way you can stay notified for new videos that come up, because I released that bonus video last Friday. I know not everybody's seen it yet. I have it linked below. Who's on your spiritual team? And I go into all the different members of your spiritual team, which you might be surprised by some of them. And then in 2 weeks, Chris Reck from Inupon Tarot will be back on my channel. We're going to do this time next year. We did that last year in October, so we're going to do it again as an anniversary date. It's going to have to make it an annual thing. So definitely, if you haven't already, signed up for my free newsletter at devondoer.com so you can stay up to date on that. I have new events coming up. I have new exciting behind the scene things where we're going to have a community coming up. But anyways, stay in touch that way. I love hearing from you. And of course, let me know in the comments below how you're doing. I read every single comment. I love them all. Even if it's just emojis, it just makes my heart sing because I love connecting with all of you. All right, so coming up in the present for your relationship reset, we have release. Well, we do have this full moon coming up. It's all about releasing things. Water under the bridge. The moon represents water, endings, transformation, and freedom. These relationship resets are bringing you freedom. It may not feel like it right now, but it really, really is. Now, some of you are already aware it's bringing you freedom, but also take a look at the way that it's affecting those around you, because not everybody realizes it's bringing freedom. And when I say release, I don't mean that you're breaking up with somebody necessarily, or you're ending a friendship or a partnership or anything, but it could be bringing freedom in the way you interact. Sometimes by just choosing to agree to disagree, or let something be water under the bridge, or just have that heart-to-heart conversation, can bring so much freedom. So what's the first thing that came to you? What's the first thing that came to your mind regarding a current relationship, okay, where you're going to release something? And that's why I say it could be work, your relationship to a project. Maybe you're choosing to put down a current creative project so you have more time to work on your book, or you're choosing to take a break from writing your book because you're feeling stuck and you're going to go do something else creative to get the juices going again, right? That's why I always joke about, like, writer's block. Sometimes the best thing to do is go off and do something else creative instead of trying to write, so that it can get the juices flowing again. All right. So you know what this is for you. And then we have the near future card is King of Air, knowledgeable, objective, and respected. So remember, you are in control of how you respond to these different relationships around you. So if somebody seems to be overreacting or not responding in the most kind way, try to be that objective person. Try to have command over your communication, over your words, so that it can come from a loving and compassionate place. So I do feel like a lot of you, because you're here now listening to these videos, you're going to be approaching any kind of change to a relationship from a knowledgeable standpoint. You're going to get the information first, then you're going to have the conversation, right? It's kind of like, they tell you before you go into an interview that you should research the company really well, what's going on with them, research the position. If you can, some people can even research the person who's doing the interviewing. Going in with that information before you communicate brings so much confidence. And then it allows people to really have a lot of respect for you, because they're going, wow, you really took the time and invested the time to have this conversation. So then the final card we're getting for, the future card that we're getting for this, and then we'll do two actions, is the Ace of Earth card. So the Ace of Earth card is abundance, opportunity, and resources. So there is something you can invest in with right now that is going to really help you in all of your relationships. Some of you are investing your time and energy in being part of a networking group so that you can meet other people who do the same thing you do. Some of you are investing in an actual relationship. Maybe you've been single for a while and you've said, I don't really want to give up my free time, but you're saying, you know what, I can give up a little bit of my free time to get to know somebody. Some of you are investing in yourself by taking more time away from something, or you're investing in some project you want to do. But please keep an eye out for that opportunity that is coming in for you in the future card, which I would say is probably going to happen around the new moon, but please pay attention. That's not until the 21st of October, but please pay attention to all these things that are happening this month. So much going on. Keep your eyes on the skies. Please listen for those intuitive downloads, things that you're getting in the dreams. Let me know in the comments. Have you been having dreams about these interstellar objects? I certainly have. All right, and then let's do our action cards. So the first action to take is the 8 of Fire, speed, activity, and multitasking. Yep, lots going on. So do what you have to do to get organized. Remember, we have this King of Air card where you are getting all the information before you're taking action, but it does feel like you're going to be juggling a lot of different relationships with this relationship reset. I think all of us here listening now are going to find our communication is going to a new level, and you might be getting information from so many different directions. The best thing you can do, write it down. That way you can use that gift of hindsight to connect the dots. So the second action to take, and then we'll pull it all together, is this 10 of Air card. Goodness, all this communication card. It says endings, recovery, and freedom. Another card of freedom. Yes, we are bringing an end to some type of dynamic in our relationship that is bringing us freedom, okay? That's why I say it doesn't mean you're breaking up. It doesn't mean you're ending a friendship or something completely. It's the changes, this reset in the way that you approach this person or this relationship to something brings you freedom. And I know for one, I'll give you an example right now for me that a relationship reset I had over the summer was to my daily schedule. I tend to be very just on a schedule. I have my to-do list. I have the order of things I do it in. I kind of allot a certain amount of time to things. I even will tell myself, oh, well, I got that done early. Now I can get this done. And I'll like try to cram too much in. And I made kind of a promise to myself over the summer. I feel like it was kind of like my solar return promise because I was on vacation at the time, is when I get home, I don't want to rush anymore. I mean, I get that there's times we all have to rush just because there's something that really needs our attention. But as far as how I move through my day on a daily basis, I want to do it in a peaceful, calm, in divine flow way. In fact, do you know my favorite affirmation? If y'all want to write it below, I am in divine flow. That is the epitome of not rushing. And here I am saying it as my favorite pocket affirmation. And then I was catching myself rushing, right? So this is why I want you to think about that. All of us need to think about that was a relationship reset to me to go, oh, I'm going to take all the time I need to handle this situation. We can't do that in everything, but I'll give you the most recent example is my youngest daughter has been sick. And at least 3 or 4 times it's caused us to have to change a schedule. I had to get her to the doctor yesterday, different things going on. It's just a minor cold. She's doing fine, but it was really chopping up my schedule and the way I was doing things. And I remember thinking, you know what? I am in divine flow. We're going to go to the urgent care. Whoever's in front of us is in front of us. Whoever is however long it takes to get out of there is fine. It actually ended up being like really smooth and easy and didn't even take as long as I wanted. But that's a good example of where I changed my relationship to the things I had to get done every day so that I wasn't rushing. All right. So I hope that makes sense because I don't want people to always put themselves in a box. That's where I hear a lot of people say whether something resonates or not. Sometimes it doesn't resonate because they're taking it so literally. When this is where I want you to think about what's coming into your third eye, what's popping into your mind, what's the first person you thought of, what's the first situation you thought of, what is the first thing that felt like, oh, I want this to change. That could be the thing. Maybe you just want to change your relationship to the gym. It's like you always dread going. Maybe you need to change when you go or change who you go with or get a new iPod. I almost said iPod. A playlist so that you can have fun at the gym. I know I always have like my favorite podcasts ready to go when I'm going to go do a workout that I'm not super excited about. So anyways, I love all of you so much for being here. You are so welcome. And I really would love to hear your feedback on the video, who's on your spiritual team that I've linked below, and get that conversation going because I've got some new exciting things going for the community. I will be back next week with another reading at 11 a.m. Central like I am. And then Chris Reck will join me again in 2 weeks. So I hope to see you there. Thanks for being here. Bye, everybody.